Welcome back to the Download Show. Medical documentation takes up nearly 40% of a doctor's time. But what if AI could change all that? Imagine a future where clinicians spend less time on paperwork and more time with patients. Sounds ideal, right? Today's guest is a true pioneer in healthcare technology. Dr. N.T. Cheung, head of IT and health informatics at Hong Kong's Hospital Authority, is leading one of the world's largest electronic health record systems. Now, AI is helping doctors draft medical reports faster and with greater accuracy than ever before. But here's the real question. Is AI ready to take over medical documentation completely? Or are we still facing challenges that no one is talking about? Stick around as we dive into the reality of AI-powered healthcare with Dr. N.T. Cheung. Dr. Cheung, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Tech. Happy to be here.
So first question, how is the Hospital Authority dealing with AI? And is it everything that you imagine it to be?
Your intro was fantastic. The recent news that we put out a news about the medical report generation using AI, and that did spark a lot of interest. But we've actually been doing a lot of AI for a number of years now. You probably know, as many of your viewers will know, this AI wave has been coming in the last few years. Now the Gen AI stuff really was sparked by ChatGPT back 2 years ago. But before that, we've been doing a lot of more of that sort of machine learning type stuff, and we actually had done quite a bit of work there. Now, the good thing about machine learning is it's we build the models, right? Or you buy models in, you bring models in, and you execute it against your patient data, and it gives you some some advice, some predictions. It finds some things for you, and we found a lot of very useful tools there. So I'll give you some examples of that one. So for instance, radiology images is one where a lot of work has been done. And in that one, we've built models that look at chest X-rays for a variety of different things, hip fractures, brain CTs. We're looking at the images of the eye. So all sorts of stuff is happening over there. Now, building models is actually not that hard. A few years ago, I remember we were having discussions about this AI wave coming, and I was talking to a lot of other not healthcare CIOs, but just CIOs in other industries from all over the world, and they were saying, "Oh my God, this stuff is coming. This wave of AI is coming. We don't know how to do it. We don't have the people, and all that sort of stuff." But then very quickly we realized that the tools are actually masterable, and so to build models, I mean, nowadays, any high school student can, on their iPhone can build models. You just have to have the data, right? Because the tools are all open source and they're very powerful. But the difficulty is not in building the models. Obviously, you do need a good model, but for us, I've always found that the biggest challenge is in how it inserts into the workflow. How do the clinicians react to the AI? How do you get the message of the AI out to the clinicians in a way that is clear and actionable? They know what to do with that advice. Because this is a new thing, right? So, AI is telling you this stuff, and the doctor's going, well, I don't understand what that means. So we have to present it in a way and an appropriate time so that they sort of know what to do with it. And that's a big challenge, because otherwise you're just showering them with sort of advice and alerts, which they don't know what to do with. So that's sort of been the key. Now, the generative AI actually it also faces that problem, but it's a little different. It's a newer wave. I mean, as I said, it was really launched in 2022, and we've been a little bit slower in adoption of that tech because the main problem for us is the hallucination problem. I have to be honest, because we were trying earlier models, and they would just invent things. So if I told them to summarize a record, it would just throw in some random untrue fact that it just made up. And it's very hard to pick those up. So we've been a little bit reticent about that. Now, the models have been improving a lot, and there's new techniques such as retrieval augmented generation, that sort of stuff. So the tools are definitely getting better. The accuracy is getting better, and it's at a point now where we think it's usable. And that's why we announced that we were starting to do this sort of medical documentation. So it is early. So to answer your question, I don't think it's ready right now to take over, but we're seeing with these improvements, and as we learn more about how it actually pans out, I think we're getting ready to really dive in a lot deeper and find a lot more use cases for it.
Now, that's one thing to help, I think, the productivity, and that's really important for the clinicians. But running hospital authority, it's also about kind of cost efficiency as well. Do you anticipate, or have you seen kind of how AI is improving costs within the hospital system?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's one uh, concept, which is that high quality care is not only doesn't have to be more expensive, it actually ends up cheaper because high quality care means your patients get better quicker, they stay out of the hospital for longer, they don't, they don't get worse, and you don't have errors cropping in, which are very expensive to rectify. If somebody operates on the wrong leg, that's a big deal, and it's not only a cost, of course, it's a serious problem to the patients. So quality and cost actually, sorry, higher quality and lower cost actually do work out often. Often, and in something like AI, where if we build a model, for instance, that let's say the one that we did with the chest X-rays is finding tumors that have been missed. During the very busy workflow of a doctor, they may not be focusing on the right thing. The AI sees something. Now the AI, if the AI wasn't running, it would have been missed. So we get the AI to look at every single chest X-ray, and then it'll raise an alert if necessary to the right person, who then reviews it and goes, "Oh dear, there's something there. Let's investigate further." So it's that sort of thing where avoiding problems that will crop up later on. AI's because the AI just is working around the clock, right? And it doesn't get tired, it doesn't get distracted. So it's a perfect use case for AI. And we have several of those sorts of things. And I would say that, the other one is, for instance, with the medical report generation, and that's just a straight up time saving because doctors now, when they write a report, they have to go through. I mean, our records are all electronic, but that just means they're flipping through with a mouse rather than with it, on a stack of paper. And so it still means a lot of reading, a lot of searching for the docs. And so we ask the AI to go through it and help summarize for them. Now the docs still have to review because the AIs are not perfect, like I said, but they're good enough that the docs can, look at it and generally maybe make a one or two minor changes and it's good to go, and that saves a tremendous amount of time. There is a lot of promise there. I mean, like I said, the first one is quality improvement, which also reduce costs and actually saves time down the track. But also, there's just straight up time savings through AIs helping you with looking things up or writing things up and all that sort of stuff.
Now, you talked a little bit about errors before, right? And hallucinations and why some the generative part, I think, is rolling out in a very kind of disciplined way.
Mhm.
How does the HA think about basically errors? Who is at liability, and how do you guys think about errors and when they do appear and when they will appear?
Yeah, I mean that's a really key question. So when we started this whole AI journey, we had to establish AI governance to say how will the hospital authority use AI because we're talking about life and death stuff here. So one of the key principles is that the AI, and now at this stage, what we're saying what we've been saying for the last few years, and we're still saying now, is the AI does not make the decisions, right? The AI is only a supportive tool. It can help you, it can raise alerts, it can help you do some drafting. End of the day, the doc or whoever it is who receives that advice is the responsible person. They look at the thing and they have to interpret it in the context of their own professionalism and what they know of the patient or the situation. And then they either say, yeah, I'll do that, or no, I'm going to ignore that, or I'm going to sign off on this one. So it's at the moment that's where we're standing, that it's just a tool that helps you and it's not making those decisions. The liability, well, yeah, the legal onus is still on the clinician. Um, when you get to the AI, and this concept of agentic AI, where the AI is actually going out and doing things for you, then we get into very tricky territory. And I have to say, we haven't really gone into that yet. But it's possible that for things like helping a patient book an appointment, maybe those sorts of things, you could do that because the liability is not so bad there. But with clinical tools, I don't think we've got to the stage where we're comfortable getting the AI to actually do things for us. It can only be a supportive tool at the moment.
Now, HA has been kind of at the forefront of actually thinking about AI and utilizing AI as part of the workflow. How else do you think actually AI will be utilized in the future of healthcare?
Oh well, one one of the principles that sort of we established early on was that there's AI opportunities for everybody, all throughout the organization at all levels. I think the AI can help tremendously. Now, the and we said this before generative AI was a thing. We didn't even know about it, right? And now with generative AI, it's even that potential I think is even greater because the possibilities are really opened up. So, simple things, for instance, like an organization like the Hospital Authority, we're massive, right? We have tons of policies and procedures and guidelines and all those things. Well, the AI can help us work those things through. Nobody has time to read all that stuff and, follow it. So the AI, certainly we're building AIs that do that sort of stuff for us. Looking up, not necessarily just medical records, stuff that we've maybe statistical things we've released in the past to give us, better ideas of how things are going and what have we said in the past. The AI can help us with all that sort of stuff. So we find that there's just tremendous opportunity, I think, across the spectrum. The key thing for me now is, um, do our staff, are they thinking about it? Are they thinking about, can this thing help in what they're doing? Do they understand what the possibilities with AI are? And with a large workforce, that's a challenge. But I think over time we're gradually, getting there. Yeah,
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Chung, for your time.
not at all. Enjoyed being here.